welcome to another video where all of my videos are on diamond painting. Today I am going to be working on a diamond painting and just chit-chatting with you guys. Normally I do this on Tuesdays, but I was out of town, didn't get back until late, and just could not do any type of filming while I was out. So we're going to go over that in just a little bit, but I wanted to show you what I'm going to be working on. This is the last of my 26 of 26 diamond paintings that did not have drills on it. So I'm so excited that I have started this section here, and I might even finish this section with you guys. It's quite a bit of color blocking on this one. This is Sleeps with Butterflies, and this is by Margaret Morales from Diamond Art Club. It is a 55.6 centimeter by 70.2 centimeters, and I'm using, for the first time, the Forever Young storage system. I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about this one. I was hoping that I would really like it. It looks really pretty, but I'm not sure how I'm liking how the drills are lining up in these containers. So if you guys have used this, let me know. I just knew I would love this, but I'm not sure about that love right now. But I am working on a rather large section, and due to the color blocking, I want to at least get some of this done. So if you have something that you want to work on, grab that. And if not, just treat this like you would a podcast, and you can just listen, do housework, or whatever you would like to do. It's totally up to you guys. There is a little bit of a glare, and that is because I do have overhead lights on. It's very early on Wednesday morning. I'm hoping that I can do this and get this out on the same day. That might be a little bit of a struggle for me, but I'm trying. So we will see. You might also hear a humming in the background, and if you do, I apologize. I will try to get that out as much as I can. It is actually chilly this morning, and I am in Georgia. It should not be cold in Georgia in June, but it is. It will heat up today to around 85-ish, but right now it is in the high 50s, and my room, my craft room, is actually in a basement, and it gets chilly down here. So I am having to have my heater on. So for those of you that do not know me, my name is Debbie, and I have been around now for 4 years. I am trying to get my channel back on track the past year. This year and last year have been absolutely crazy for my family and I, just in terms of things going on. Good things, but just very busy. And then I got really busy with work this year, and so I've kind of let my channel slide a little bit, and I do apologize for that. I am hoping to get back on track over the summer. Now that my main event for work is now finished, and that is why I was out of town for the past 5 days. And I am an advisor and a mentor for a large organization at my job, which I work for a college. And we had, with this organization, and it is known nationwide. I don't want to say the name just to, one thing for privacy of my students, but we are in an organization where we compete annually, and we compete with first the state, which are schools within our state, and then from there, whoever is in the top 3 gets to go to what is called nationals. It is in a different location every year. This year it was in Vegas, and we were all so excited that we got to go to Vegas. It was exciting, but where we stayed, not so much. I did have a really good time. My students did extremely well. I am proud of all of them, but we're all tired. I had planned on doing a vlog while I was there, and I am so sorry, but it just did not work out. I knew from the very beginning that it wasn't going to work out once I got there. And I was really disappointed in that because I was really looking forward to doing a vlog with you guys just about what was going on, how the days were there. But unfortunately, it just didn't happen that way. There were over 4,600 people there, and people were everywhere. Where we did stay was huge, and so it wasn't like you were on top of anybody or anything. But anytime that I would think, okay, I can go ahead and do just a small, short vlog for today, I can do it outside of my room. Every time that I did it, there were people around. And I did not want to accidentally get anyone in and try to figure out how I'm going to edit that out. It was very noisy, as you can imagine. And then we were staying in a casino hotel, and so they had a lot of music going on, and I didn't want to get dinged by YouTube possibly of having some copyright music that may have seeped through. And so I just decided not the best thing to do. So I didn't do it. I thought, well, I can just vlog in the room. Well, our room was very strange because in the hotel room, and I have stayed in many, many hotels in my life, and I've never stayed in a hotel that, for one, did not have some type of either a built-in desk or a desk itself or a table. This one had none of those. So I had no place to put my little tripod that I had brought with me, my travel tripod. Didn't have a place to put it. Didn't have a place to put a computer. I could have even recorded on my computer since it was a vlog, and that would have worked. But nope, didn't have a place to put my computer. The only place I had to sit on was a bright red leather sofa, and in my room, which that would have been okay, but I didn't want to put my computer in my lap, and I couldn't diamond paint and talk to you guys, and it just didn't work out. There was just no way that I could do it, alongside not having a table in our room. We also did not have a coffee pot or a microwave. Now, I get the microwave. I have stayed in some rooms that did not have a microwave. They had a communal microwave, and I'm not going to do that. Well, this place didn't even have a communal microwave. Everything was so expensive. If you needed a microwave, you could rent one. It was $25 a day to rent a microwave. Okay, well, I wasn't going to rent a microwave. Wasn't going to pay $25. Didn't need a microwave. But some of my students had some leftovers, and they didn't know what they were going to do. I think one rented a microwave. They all shared it. But the food was mediocre at best. And it was because, again, where we stayed. But and what really got to me, though, was not having a coffee maker. I was not going to have to take a shower, get makeup on, and all that stuff in order to go downstairs to get coffee. Their coffee was Starbucks. That was a plus. But again, everything was so stinking expensive. And I heard that Vegas was pretty reasonable. And we are given a set amount at work for an expense report for food, and we don't have to keep up with our receipts. Well, that's well and good, but I know good and well, I haven't checked it yet, but I know good and well that this girl went over, and I did not eat at a lot of expensive places, but everything was expensive where I ate, if that makes any sense. So it was definitely different. And I don't know, would I go back to Vegas? I might, but that would only be for a specific show that I would go to, and I would do it for a show. I would not stay where we were because we were not on the Strip, which is where everything is. It was not convenient to get there, especially if you didn't have a car. And the only good thing is that we were on, it was they called it a train, I guess, but it was more like a monorail. If you've ever been to Disney or if you've ever been in the Atlanta airport, it was like the plane train. And it had 8 stops, just went in a big circle. You could stay on it just to ride the train, just to see the city. And so we did that at first just to see. And then we did go, I wanted to say, well, I've been on the Strip. Didn't want to go to Vegas and not go on the Strip. And it was a lot. I wasn't expecting it to be as clean as it was for some reason. I was just expecting kind of like a dirty city or whatever, but it wasn't. It was very nice and clean. Everybody was very respectful, or at least the ones that I ran into. And I did go through a couple of the other hotels, especially the one that was, especially I went through Harrah's because that is where, and this, I know this sounds silly, it also dates me, but that is where Donny Osmond performs. Ever since I found out last year about Vegas and the potential of us going to Vegas, I was so excited because I wanted to go and see Donny in concert, in a show. I went to several of his concerts when I was younger, and he was a little bit older, or he is older than I am, about 5 or 6 years older than me, but he was still one of my heartthrobs when I was growing up. Sean Cassidy was the other one, and I'm not as interested in seeing Sean in concert as I am in seeing Donny. I don't know why, but I am. So anyway, I did go through Harrah's one day. I just left on, what day was it? I am so confused on days. On Monday, we had some extra time. I just got on the little tram, and I went and just did some things on my own. And I did go through there just to see, and I thought, okay, I could stay here. So they were more elaborate than our hotel. And you can easily get to the Strip if you stay on the Strip, obviously. So I will probably do that. If I go back, I may not, but who knows. But we had the craziest time whenever we left on last Friday. And we had to be at the airport and at our gate by 11:15. That's what the school wanted, so okay. So left my house early because you never know with the Atlanta traffic. And then also I parked my car at parking off site of the airport. It's just so much easier. It's easier, but it's also a pain. It's easier because you can you can make a reservation, and that way you know you have parking. It is a lot cheaper than it is at the airport, although work is willing to pay for some of it, and they probably would have paid for all of it at the airport, but it's also safer off-site. So I park off-site, and then you have to get on a bus, but they are really nice. The bus drivers, they pick up your luggage for you, and they even took my luggage out of my car. They were so sweet. And so I got to the airport, and it said that everything was good. We were on time. Well, then it just started going from bad to worse on Friday. And I thought, I hope this doesn't mean we're going to have a terrible trip, because said that if you've ever been in the Atlanta airport, it is huge. It has several terminals. They're not close together. You can ride what they call the plane train, but sometimes it's really crowded. I can't do it if it's crowded. I have to walk. It's a long walk, let me just tell you. But got there, and they said, you're going to be taking off at the A terminal. Okay, that's good. So got everything. I did check in one bag. School paid for one bag. I checked a bag in. I had a carry-on, which was a book bag. And then I had, for my computer, and then I had my purse. So got to the gate, A gate. No sooner had I sat down at the A gate, which took me about 10-15 minutes to get there because I had to wait on the plane train. And then no sooner had I sat down, then I got a notification on my Delta app, said that our gate had changed. Okay, so had plenty of time. It was annoying, but at least I hadn't went and gotten anything to eat or drink or anything. So I got up. Then I had to go over back to the plane train, get on for the B terminal, B gate. Got to the B gate, sat down there. My students got there. And then we got a notification that our gate had been changed. What? Yet again. And guess what? They changed us back to the A gate, which was the exact same gate that I was just at. So I had to get my stuff together, and I had just gotten a coffee and something to eat. And so I thought, okay, here we go again. So we had to put all of our stuff up. We had 2 students who were in wheelchairs. And so we had another student who they were good friends. I had already agreed they were going to take care of them for the weekend. They didn't need a wheelchair the entire time. They just needed it for the airport because it is a lot of walking. So they had to push them again with all the luggage and everything, or their carry-ons. So we finally got to the gate, and we sat there, and then we got a notification within, 15 minutes of us getting to that gate, and said that our flight was going to be delayed an hour. Well, that wasn't really good, and so we decided, okay, let's go ahead. We can go and get something to eat. And actually, I had not gotten anything to eat before. I forgot that I did not at that point. So we decided we went to Atlanta Bread Company and we got lunch. That was about the best thing that I had until I got home yesterday, and went there, and then we kept watching the app, and it ended up we were 5 hours late getting out. We started out, the plane came in late, then they had a brake issue on that plane. They had to change the brake. They noticed that there was oil coming out of the brake, so okay, I'd rather sit and wait than there be a problem with the brake. And after that, then they got us on the plane. Took forever because we were in the very, very last 2 rows of the plane. And there were a lot of people in there. It was 3 on each side, 3 seats on each side. So there was a lot of people on the plane. They got half of the plane loaded, which did not include us, but it didn't include 4 students because those were the ones that were either in a wheelchair or they were the ones pushing the wheelchair. They sat on there for about 30 minutes, and then they said, okay, we're going to have these people come off because there's a problem. So they got off the plane, and then we sat there for a little bit longer, and then we were able to board said plane. They got everybody in the plane. We sat there absolutely burning up for 30 minutes, and then they came on, and they made an announcement saying, well, sorry, folks, good news is that the issue is resolved. Bad news is your flight crew, meaning the captain and his crew, that now they have overseeded their FAA time and they're going to have to leave. So, okay, they left, and then they had to hunt down a flight crew that was on standby, and they were in the air. So that's what caused us 5 hours of delay. Now, keep in mind that I am on Eastern Standard Time. Well, Las Vegas is 3 hours behind us. So by the time we finally got to Las Vegas at like 5 o'clock Las Vegas time. Actually, it was 5:30, and so it was almost 8:30 in Atlanta. So I was getting really tired. I was getting hungry because all we had was that lunch. And we did end up going and just doing some little something at the hotel because it was, it was getting late. Everybody was tired. Everybody was going different ways. And so we decided to just call it a day. Well, then everything really started on Saturday morning. All of the competitions, a lot of them started Saturday afternoon. I had my volunteering from 12:30 until 6. So once again, right during lunch. And so I was busy doing other things, helping my students, getting them prepared for their competitions, trying to figure out where everything was in the hotel. And I was busy all afternoon on Thursday. Well, then we had our opening ceremony for the organization for this entire event. It was from 7 until 9 o'clock. And I was like, 9 o'clock, that is 12 o'clock my time. And I never did get used to the time change. I don't know if I'm just old, if my body's just so used to Eastern time. When it was 9 o'clock there, I was way ready for bed because, it was midnight at home. So I had an issue the whole time I was there with the time. I'd wake up 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I was up because that's when I normally got up, was around 7. So it was just absolutely crazy. The food at our hotel was absurdly expensive. Our hotel was not close to anything. It was just out there. There was nothing, I mean nothing, close to our hotel. And on Saturday and part of Sunday, we were extremely busy with events and different things, workshops. And so we were at the mercy pretty much of the hotel. We did get out on Monday later in the evening. We had dinner that it wasn't on the strip, but it was a marketplace, or it was actually shops that was one street over from the strip. You could actually see the strip from where we were. We went to a Mexican restaurant. It was very expensive. It was absolutely horrible. How you can screw up just a simple burrito, I don't know, but they did. And we ended up walking around there. I did get Paige a coffee mug that was pink. It says Vegas on it. My daughter absolutely loves coffee cups. I couldn't tell you how many coffee cups we have. She likes to collect them. That, and she likes to also collect keychains. So I didn't really see a keychain that I think she would like, but I did get her a coffee mug. She doesn't even drink coffee. She puts chocolate milk in it. But I got her a coffee mug. It's really pretty. It's actually rather large. And then I got me a sweatshirt that said Vegas on it. I just wanted something that said Vegas. And I did not get masks and anything because I couldn't really find anything that I think she would like. But I ended up getting her just a keychain. I got her a little keychain, but it wasn't much. So I did that much. And then that's really all that I bought there besides food and water. Water was $5 for a bottle of water. We can buy a case of water here for about $7. So it was, once again, it was expensive. But I hate to keep harping on that, but that was just all I really got out of Vegas. So it was really pretty. It was different. We did win some awards, which I was ecstatic. It's hard to win anything at nationals because we are competing against some large, heavy-hitting schools. Like Nebraska, they were like one of the top ones. Rutgers was there, and then there was our school. So we did, I think my students did very well. I was very, very proud of them. And even if they did not come in, I was proud because they worked their tails off, all of them. It was really exciting. Georgia did win several awards, and we did win an outstanding chapter for our state. And they showed us our chapter on the big screen, and so we did get to get up and do that. And then I had one student who did earn a gold status. She earned a gold medallion, and it was actually heavy because she was a gold recipient winner. You had a lot of work you had to do throughout the year, and she completed all of it, had enough points for gold. We had another one that came in silver, and they didn't do anything for silver. I was a little disappointed in that they could have at least given out a certificate, but they didn't do anything for silver. But she got her gold medallion because she did make that for nationals, so that was very, very exciting. And then on Monday, we didn't have that much to do. I was more in my room half the day, and I just worked. I did get to diamond paint a little bit. I finished one of a mini diamond painting, and that one was a Bella Art, and it was a dragon, Emma Casey, and it was really cute. I really did have fun doing that one, but that's all I had time to do, and it was small, so I am really glad I didn't take a large diamond painting. I wouldn't have been able to work on it because, once again, I had no table, and I didn't want to go out and work on it out. Everybody starts, looking at me, talking to me. With diamond paint, I want to just be able to relax and enjoy, and I think I would have felt uncomfortable if I would have went and sat at a table in the hotel. But I did gamble a little bit. I didn't know if I was going to. Only thing I ever do are slots. I don't do anything else. I don't know how to play anything else. And honestly, I am cheap when it comes to that kind of thing. I don't like losing money at all. That is not something that I am in the least excited about. Yeah, it'd be nice to win some money, but I don't know what I'm doing either. But I did play the slots because I wanted to say I gambled in Vegas. I had $10 in quarters. I ended up winning 20 bucks, and that was it. I'm like, okay, I'm done. It was fun, and I made my little $10 last, and I did keep playing on the $20 for a little bit, but I didn't win any more, and I thought, I'm done. I don't want to lose, and $20 wouldn't have been much. I could have lost more, but like, I don't want to sit here and just feed this machine. How much fun is this? And so I didn't. But I've noticed a lot of things that they did just because I was more observing than anything else. And I don't know about all of them, but I know that at the hotel where we stayed, the hotel where the actual casino was, and it was right through the hotel. So you had to go through the hotel or the casino to get to anything else in the hotel, basically. So that's how they'd always get you. The casino was very bright, cheery. It was always lit up. Even at night, there weren't any windows, so you couldn't tell what time that it was. And you had no idea. And so that's how they get people, because you get in there and you get excited, you start playing, you think, oh, I'm only in here for an hour, and you're in there for 3 or 4 hours spending your money, hopefully making money. And then if you are at one of the tables where you're playing your blackjack or roulette, or whatever, and if you did any of that, then they would offer you free drinks. They would take a while before your drink got there. So again, you're waiting on your drink and it's free. So you're going to stay there at that table and you're going to keep gambling so you can get that drink. And then whenever you're done, they kind of are slow at offering you another drink because it makes it seem like it's not as late. You're not spending as much time there as you actually are. Now, my students, I had a couple of them that were gambling and they were trying to learn how to play craps. And they said that the dealers were super nice. They were helping them, giving them instructions, because one guy had never played before. He had watched a lot of videos on it and read up on it before he had gotten there, and that's what he intended on doing. And so he said that at the other hotels where they did go to gamble, that the dealers were not very nice. They didn't talk to you, and these dealers were super nice. So that was definitely a plus with our hotel. But again, I wouldn't stay there. I would not stay there again. It might even be one of the less expensive hotels, but it is part of not the Vegas Convention Center, but it is its own, has its own convention center. And that's one of the reasons why we stayed there. They gave this, I guess they gave the National Committee a really good deal because everybody was required to stay there, but it just was not, it wasn't very easy to get to anything. And you had to pay for the train. The train was $5.50 for a single ride, and then it was a little less if you wanted to have a 24-hour ride where you could ride as many times as you wanted to for 24 hours up and back. Well, I didn't really think I needed to do that. I kind of wish I did. And again, we did take Uber, which I'd never done Uber. One of my students wasn't actually an Uber driver. She got a healthy discount, or so she said. And so it wasn't that bad for an Uber driver. So there were 4 of us that ended up going one day. And so we shared an Uber. And it was okay, but I wouldn't do Uber that often. That's just not something, I just don't feel comfortable getting into a car with somebody I don't know. Hopefully they can drive well. My students did take a Tesla out, and it was basically one of the driverless vehicles. It was on a track, and it went underground through some of these tunnels, and they said it went about 45 miles an hour. It went to 7 or 8 different locations. They got a really good deal for it, and so they did that. They said it was cheaper than doing the train. The train was kind of a pain because you did have to climb stairs to get up there. It wasn't bad, and they must have had an elevator because my one student that is walking with a cane had just had surgery. He was able to take the train, and he said he didn't have any difficulties. I didn't think about asking him. I guess they're required to have an elevator, but of course I took the stairs. But I am really tired. Yesterday's flight was perfect. I was a little concerned because we had to get up and out to the lobby no later than 5 o'clock. That's a.m. And so I woke up because I had someone at 2:45 when I was sleeping very well. At 2:45, they decided that they were going to come in late, and they thought my room was theirs, I'm imagining. And they kept using their key, and, of course, it kept rejecting it, thank goodness. Ones that were next door to me, they were students. I have no idea how old or anything, but they were students because I heard them talking. They were so loud about their event. They didn't win and, whatever. And so they were very loud. So I tried to lay back down, and after all of that, I'm like, nope, can't do it. And I started worrying I'm going to be late. I'm getting out of here because our shuttle was going to be there no later than 5:25. So I just started working and then got up, started getting ready. and our flight was on time. Everything was smooth. It was a very, very nice flight. One of the better flights I had been on in a very long time. But the way that the travel agent handles our travel, and I don't know if this is like it with all travel agencies or if it's just something that ours does, but she does not assign seats, and it is set to where we cannot assign seats. It's locked. So in order for us to get a seat, we're automatically assigned by the airlines, and we don't get it until right before the flight. Well, we're always in the back. We have been every time that we've done anything. This is the third year. And we decided, because it didn't work out very well how our seats were done going, we had a couple people that just had to be in an aisle seat. One girl had a panic attack going, and she's never had panic attacks before. So I was worried for her, and I said, I'm probably going to get an aisle again. If I get an aisle, you can have my aisle seat. I did the same thing going. I ended up in the middle of the flight changing, and I got a middle seat so she could have mine. And on the way back, it was nice because the very back of the plane, I'm trying to see what that is. Let's see, I think that's a 9. Okay, the very back of the plane, they were not as crowded as they had been whenever we left, whenever we took the flight there. And there we had actually some seats that were not full in the back, and so we were able to spread out. I got a window, which is what I prefer. For some reason, I guess I'm weird. I don't care for aisle seats. I just like the window. I like that I can prop up against the window if I want to. I just like the window. I don't have the window, the blind open, but I just like a window. So I did that, and I was able to get a window. And then the other advisor that goes with me, he's my co-advisor, and he had the aisle. Well, I had changed. We played musical chairs 2 or 3 times before we even got on the plane, and they kept saying, well, I want this one. I want to be next to so-and-so. And so when I finally got to the plane, I'm like, where do you guys want me? Just tell me. I'm not going to get in the middle. I'm not going to be in the middle seat again, but I will give up an aisle seat. And so they're like, you have the window. And I'm like, okay, where? And so they told me, I'm like, this is absolutely perfect because there was nobody in the middle. So he wanted the aisle. I wanted a window, and I never ever fall asleep on a plane. Well, apparently I must have been super duper exhausted because I fell asleep right when we were about to take off. I woke up and I'm like, what time is it? And so I was looking at the screen because everybody had their own screens. We were able to watch movies or whatever. And it had been an hour and a half since we had taken off. So I actually got some sleep on the plane, which that was nice. And then I watched a little bit of TV or a movie. And then since I have Sky Miles, I was able to, and I was so excited, I was able to actually watch some YouTube. So I watched YouTube for a little bit and got caught up on YouTube on some vlogs that I had been missed out on. So that was pretty cool. And then make sure I don't have, okay. So then that kept me busy for a little bit, and then decided I read a little bit. We actually made excellent time coming back because I don't know what exactly happened. I guess we had gotten some tailwinds or something, and we got back 30 minutes before we were expected to get back. It had been storming in Atlanta, and I thought, oh no, we're going to get stuck. And we did circle around for about 15 minutes, and I think that was because we were so early that they had them circle around because it looked like that it hadn't been raining for a little bit once we finally touched down. And then, of course, going through the airport, and then the plane train was so packed and you could not move in there. I can't do that. I cannot be like somebody on top of me that way. It just, I don't know. Not that I'm claustrophobic, I don't think, but maybe I am, because when I get in that kind of situation, I start to hyperventilate. I don't like it. I start getting hot. And I decided I'm going to have to walk some of the way from what I don't even know where we ended up when we landed. So I ended up walking, and I had to end up keep walking. It's a good hike to get to baggage claim. By the time I got there, the bags were already off, and I had one of my students that saw and knew which bag was mine. He took my bag off for me, so that was really sweet. And then the other advisor was waiting on me, and I'm like, "You didn't have to wait. I appreciate it." And I feel bad, but I'm like, I just couldn't get on there. And so they said they totally understood, not a problem at all, which I was really appreciative of that. Made sure everybody knew where they were going. We had some where the school brought a van, and they were picking them up. We had others that had their own car, and then we had one that his mom was picking him up at the airport. So everybody had a ride, and then we left there. I had one student who went to Lost and Found, and she was looking for something that she had left whenever we left on Friday. And so I thought, yeah, it's gone, but you can check if you want to. There was some drama. We've never had drama before. That is going to be addressed. I did not know there was drama. I thought something was going on, but nobody came to me. Nobody said anything until Monday around 4 o'clock. Well, we were leaving Tuesday morning, and I'm like, there's nothing that I can do about this now, but I am going to address the issue. I did not mention this, but for this diamond painting, I am using enhancement pack from DP with Sparklers, and I'm having to kind of glance down whenever I go to a color that I have not used before, because I need to see if I have this enhancement. I keep my enhancements I keep them in different containers, and so I don't want to get them confused. This is 3832. And there's not that many enhancements for this one as I would have expected. I could add more if I want to, but I'm probably not going to. I'm probably just going to go with what was in this enhancement pack and go with what they suggest. But all in all, it was a good trip, but I have been working on this for months and months. And so now I can put this behind me. I can start focusing on getting my diamond paintings done, especially the 26 and 20 for 26, which I am having a good time with. And now, because I have all of my drills on all 26, this week I can start spinning the wheel. I'm going to have all of my canvases on a wheel. I'm going to spin the wheel, and then I'm going to work on a diamond painting I said I was going to do a row before I changed out, but my diamond paintings are all different sizes. Most of them are heavy confetti. Some are round, some are square. I do have more round than I thought that I did, but I just kitted them up based on the ones I wanted to work on, and not even look to see if they were round or square. And when I started showing my whip parade, I'm like, oh no, I have quite a few rounds, but that's okay. I am an equal opportunist when it comes to diamond painting. Although, I do prefer squares in most cases, but I will purchase rounds. And so I'll just work on rounds. Rounds go faster. And so or they typically do for me. So I might get more finished. So we'll see. but I'm going to work on diamond painting 2 to 3 days a week. And then from there, I will go ahead and change. I will do the wheel again and then figure out what will be my next diamond painting. I'll be keeping a list of it so I can show you guys. I'm also going to have a series on my channel where I am going to just show you what I had been working on, what the wheel chose, how far I was able to get, all the things. So I'm excited for that. The first one will come out on Saturday of this week. I have an unboxing for Thursday. Hopefully I'll be able to do that unboxing today and then have it ready to go out tomorrow. But now that I'm home, I've got a lot of catching up to do for work. I got as much as I could get done while I was there. My part-time job is my busiest week of the term starting this week. So I've got to get a lot of that done. And here we are already at Wednesday. So halfway to the weekend. And I am planning on, for the weekend, I do have my Georgia meetup. And that is going to be on Saturday. So I will be going to that. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to go since I've already missed so much at home getting things done, but there's not really a whole lot that I have to do that my husband needs me to help him with for the house because he's still working on our deck and he doesn't need me to help him hold anything anymore or anything like that while he's working on it. So, or to help him lift anything, any heavy boards or anything. So I am going to go, and he suggested that I go. So I'm going to go ahead and go there. Not sure if I'll be able to eat lunch with them or not, but I can at least go and diamond paint for a couple of hours. And on that one, I'll be working on the event diamond painting that I'm doing. That's my evening diamond painting. So hopefully I can get more done on that one because that will be the one that I work on every evening. The other 25 are ones that I will work on when I am in my craft room. Anything else? Diamond painting. I have not finished anything in June yet except for that one mini canvas. On those, I do not count the one as a canvas completed. It is the entire set. So I don't know if I will get that one completed by the end of June or not. I probably will not because in a few weeks I'm going on vacation and we're doing that for our 15-year anniversary. On that one, I am taking a diamond painting. Everybody's doing well here. Paige is doing absolutely great. I think we figured out what we need to do for her. I have not had any other diamond paintings come in. I'm still waiting on a couple from Diamond Art Club to come in. I'm still waiting on my pressed and placed. That one I am really looking forward to. I've heard so many good things about that company, so I'm waiting on those. Then one of the most exciting things, it sounds kind of weird, but on the newer Diamond Art Clubs that has the perforations, it is like so satisfying to be able to take off the perforations. It's a nice feeling. I have for you today, guys. Hope you were able to get something done if you actually wanted to. And if you are not a subscriber, I would absolutely love to have you. Again, I'm trying to build up my channel again. And if you like this video, please click on the like button. And until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye.